So welcome to today's episode. I want to start off by asking you a question. When you woke up this morning, how did you spend those first 3 hours of your day? You see, I'm a big believer that how you start your day determines how the rest of your day is going to go. And I'm sure you've had days before where from the very beginning, you're just dealing with other people's agendas, you're reacting to everything they throw at you and what they need. And by the end of the day, you feel drained, you feel exhausted. And as busy as you were, you got nothing important done. So in today's episode, I want to talk to you about how you can take back control of your day and avoid that happening. Let's get into it. So there's really two broad types of activities that you can do. Those that move you forwards in life and those that don't. And typically when you're doing the kind of work which you're passionate about, you enjoy, it's not really draining. You can work for hours on end and feel invigorated. So for me in my personal work life, that's overseeing and managing talented people to create new projects and bring them to life from scratch. That really does recharge me. So right now, for example, we're working on a brand new website and platform for a new company and doing the things like writing copy and giving feedback to the designers and finding the right images, giving feedback on the functionality of the platform just to make it like really intuitive to the users. Just coming up with all those kind of ideas. I get really energized from that. I really enjoy that kind of work. And I could do it all day long. I could work for 10 hours straight and just not feel tired at all. But there's also work that you might not be as passionate about, but you know it's good for you. You know it's good for your future. And after you finish doing it, you always feel satisfied. Maybe not when you're doing it, but after you feel that good satisfaction. So for myself, that might be creating video content like this. Okay, it's not my first preference of how I want to spend my time, but I know there's a long-term benefit. I know that I do the work once and there's going to be a payoff. So this morning, for example, I cranked out 3 videos, one after the other. And about 9 a.m. when I was frantically getting everything ready before and finishing my scripts, it was the last thing I felt like doing. But after I'd done the videos, which took me about 2 hours, I felt great and I felt energized. And then there's activities which have no long-term payoff. Running errands, answering insignificant emails, checking social media, getting distracted with videos on YouTube. A lot of these things you might enjoy in the short term. You know, it's enjoyable to react to entertaining things and to see the latest news and gossip and drama, but it does nothing for you long term at all. So those first 3 hours of your day, they must be kept sacred and focused on you and the long-term benefits as much as possible. It's the first thing you do. Highly productive and successful people, they are very selfish in those first few hours. They make their long-term needs the priority. Now, I know that's easier said than done. And if you have kids, you might be rolling your eyes right now thinking, well, you know, that's easy for you to say, but it's not very practical for me. But whatever you've got to do to make the first few hours of the day focused on long-term benefits for you, do it. If you've got to get up an hour earlier before everyone else to get some peace and quiet and then focus on your work, then do it. So when you take care of yourself first, you can better take care of others. It's like when you board an airplane and they have the whole safety speech. They tell you that in an emergency, you should put the oxygen mask on yourself first and then on other people. And they've been saying that for decades. And there's a good reason why they've been saying it, because in the past, when people did try and save everyone else around them, and then they ran out of oxygen, the overall net effect is more people died. Okay, so they tell you, take care of yourself first, and then you can help others. It's the same with your day. So let's get a little bit more specific. The first thing you should do in the morning is cut out all social media. If you can't control that urge to pick up your phone, go on Facebook and check all the status updates, delete the apps on your phone. Okay, the worst thing you can do is get sucked in the social media drama in those first few hours of your day. It really does set the stage for a reactive day where you don't prioritize your own needs. It's the same thing with email. Okay, everything in your email, it can wait. It can wait a few hours. Very few things are that important that you can't put them off a few hours. The next thing you can do is work in blocks. When I was running my last big company, I went through phases where I did this, and I wish I did it more, but it was very effective. I would wake up and I was not allowed to turn on Wi-Fi until about 11 a.m. The first 3 hours of the day, I would work in 30-minute blocks and I would have it all mapped out. So for example, I had to be at my desk at 9 a.m. By then I'd usually done my workout, and I would work in these 30-minute blocks. So I might spend 30 minutes writing an email, okay, an email that I would send out to my list. I might spend another 30 minutes working out ideas for a future product. I might spend the next 30 minutes working out a script for a piece of video content. But those first 3 hours, they were for me. No one else could get to me. I'd be in my apartment, I'd have Wi-Fi turned off, my phone was off, I didn't even bother checking social media. I was 100% focused on future benefit kind of activities that would have that long-term payoff. So the key is to be selfish with your time and attention in those first few hours of the day. Improving your health, that should be somewhere in those top priorities. Make an appointment with someone who's going to be part of that process for you getting in shape. It could be a personal trainer or a workout buddy, but have the deadline and that external accountability. You've got to meet someone at the gym or on the racetrack, but that way you're locked in. You make it harder for yourself to justify why today's not a good day to work out. You're more likely to do it. And lastly, get up earlier. A couple months ago, I did this experiment where for 10 days, I had to get up at 5:30 a.m. and go to the gym. Now, for me, that's incredibly difficult. Maybe for you, that's no big deal. But for me, I've always been a late riser. But for those 10 days, I felt more in control of my life than I have in a very long time. I had momentum early on, and I just felt like I was in control of my destiny. So remember, when you wake up and you begin reacting and checking social media and things like that, you're not in control. Nobody likes to feel like they're not in control of their life. It's just not an empowering feeling. It doesn't build your self-worth or your confidence up. It brings you down. So instead, prioritize your needs, the long-term payoffs, and focus what is going to move you forwards in life first. Okay, and if you do that, I promise you, you'll feel much better and you'll get a lot more done. So I hope that helps you in some way. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.